And Mahaprabhu said, my only possession in this world was that danda. And now you have done this. So either you go ahead of me to Jagannath Puri, or you go behind, but I'm not going any further with you. So in this way he was traveling alone on the road, in that way, with hundreds of all of the local people surrounding him. Usually it takes 1.5 hours to walk from Ataralala to Jagannath Temple, and it took 9 hours for Gauranga Mahaprabhu to complete the distance, falling down, paying dandavats the whole way. Jai Shukati John Shune Aishab Akyan. Jai Shukati John Shune Aishab Akyan. That pious person who hears this description of Gauranga Mahaprabhu entering Puri Dham, Jai Shukati John, that pious person, Shune Aishab Akyan, who hears this description, Taha Melai Gauchandra Bhagawan, they will get the shelter of Gauchandra Bhagawan. Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Prabesh Korela Gauchandra Ora Deshe. In this way, Gaurachandra, he entered into Utkal, Ora Desh. Iha Jai Shune She Bashaya Prem Roshe. Those who hear this description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entering Utkal, Ora Desh, they will swim in the ocean of love of Godhead. Entering the temple, Gauranga went swiftly to embrace Lord Jagannath. Seeing the form of Lord Jagannath, he became overwhelmed, he fell unconscious at the lotus seat of Lord Jagannath in the temple. The watchmen, they saw this and they considered beating him, thinking him some sort of a nuisance. At that time, it so happened, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, we went to his house today. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, just the opposite Svetaganga, his house. He is the guru of the king of Puri. This Acharya post that was occupied by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is the most respected position in all of Sanatana Dharma, Arya Samaj Hinduism. The Shankaracharya of Puri, the guru of the Sankara Math, which is just behind, as far we walked past it today almost, when we walk from Bakula, we walked just on the side is Shankara Math, established by Shankaracharya, a four Math in all of India. One in Bhadrakashram, one in the north, in the south, Rameshwaram. In the east is at Dwarka, and sorry, in the west is at Dwarka, and the east here at Jagannath Puri. Established by Shankaracharya in 800 AD. It's 1500 years ago, this Shankara Math established. So the Acharya of this Shankara Math in Puri, the most respected post in all of Hinduism. At that time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the guru of the king of Puri, he happened to be there in the temple. And he saw this form, this divine form. Subsequently, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he composed verses. Dvairagya Viddo, Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikhartam, Ekat Purusha Purana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Sharira Dhari, Kripambudhu, Kripambudi, Yashtamaham Prabhadyai, Kripambudi, Yashtam Sharir. He's seeing this form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is embodiment of Premamaya, love of God. and the incarnation of spreading Krishna consciousness, he recognized he's not an ordinary sannyasi. Immediately he forbade the watchman from beating Gauranga. And he made an examination. First he said he took the body. He got the watchman to carry, they picked up the body of Chaitanya. He's fallen unconscious. We've seen Jagannath, he's unconscious. Cannot be revived. It's not like unconscious as we know in the current medical science evaluation. He's entered into a deep state of samadhi. He's entered into a deep state of love of Godhead, and he has retired from the usual external functioning of the body. Into a deep samadhi he's entered. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya could recognize that. He recognized the symptoms of Ashta Shaktika Bhav. The Ashta Shaktika, 8 symptoms of Mahabhav, the Radha Bhav, like that which Sri Radhika experiences in loving Krishna. She's recognizing the symptoms on his body. So he requests the big watchman, the security, they pick up the body, the long, beautiful Gauranga. Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangash Chandananga. Varna Hemango, his body, his limbs are like gold. Suvarna, although he's not blackish. Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangash Chandanangati, his limbs are anointed with the chandan. Sannyasa Kriksha Shamaha Shanta, accepting the sannyas dress with the reddish cloth around his beautifully formed waist. The body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lifted up. You see the pictures of Gauranga here in Jagannath Puri, his divine form, the shaven, wearing the simple cloth, simply the tears of love of Godhead constantly flowing from his eyes. They carried that transcendental body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the Jagannath temple to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, which we visited today. Now similarly, you may not realize how close that is. Because the route that is quickest, which the route that we were fortunate to take today, is that from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house you go past the Svetaganga and you go to the other exit, and then you come up and you're just on the edge of Jagannath Mandir, and you walk a little and you come to the Singadwara. It is less than a 10-minute walk. And that exaggerated, 10 minutes. You could do in 5 minutes. So they carried the body of Gauranga along that journey past Svetaganga into the house of... There were so many people gathered by this time, because already on the road so many tens of thousands of people had gathered to see the Premamoy Avatar, who's falling down in love of Godhead with tears flowing from his eyes like the flowing of Ganga, reciting verses, seeing a flag fluttering. They followed him. There were already so many people gathered outside the temple of Lord Jagannath. They carried his body like ants carry a piece of rice. The streets were completely jam-packed with people, and they all wanting to touch his body. They simply passed his body along the top and passed his body all the way to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. And then they had to lock the doors to stop them from coming in. Somehow, those 4 associates from Bengal, it's amazing how they didn't just get lost in the crowd. But somehow, because Nityananda Prabhu was there, so people could see the extraordinary features of Lord Nityananda. And so they were able to make it through the crowd. They heard that, yes, that sannyasi from Bengal, Gauda Hoite, that sannyasi had come. He'd fallen down, he's unconscious in front of the deity of Lord Jagannath. They've taken him to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So those 4 accompanying associates of Gauranga, they went and they saw Mahaprabhu lying down. He remained lying down for 9 hours in that deep state of Ashta Shaktika Bhav, Radha Bhav. He remained for 9 hours. And they took the devotees, Nityananda Prabhu, they took them to see Lord Jagannath. Nityananda Prabhu also overwhelmed. They had to hold him in one, not you also. Then they came back to the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Acharya was performing the They began to perform Sankirtan. Devotees began to perform Sankirtan in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And then suddenly again Gauranga regained consciousness and chanted Hari Hari, Hari Hari. What did he chant? Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari. Loudly he chanted upon awaking. And they all took the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Jagannath Prasadam was arranged. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he is the guru of the king. He has such access to the facilities of Purushottam Kshetra and Sri Jagannath Mandir. So immediately he arranged prasadam for all of the devotees. And so many preparations were brought of Jagannath Prasadam. Seeing all of the arrangements, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that just give me only the boiled vegetables, shukta, lafra, and the luxurious vegetables, the fried vegetables, the fried items, and the sweet cakes are made of condensed milk, you give to all the other devotees. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, Jagannath, kaiche koryachen bhojan, aj shab mahaprasad koro ashwadhan. Jagannath kaiche koryachen bhojan. That way that Jagannath himself has enjoyed his lunch today, aj shab mahaprasad koro ashwadhan. You also taste the items that Lord Jagannath has enjoyed today. In this way, there was a negotiation, and the Bhattacharya induced Sri Satchidananda to accept all the different varieties of prasadam. Prasad hoy, prasad sheba, korite hoy, shakala prapancha jai. Just by honoring the prasadam, you can conquer all of the influence of the material energy, and especially the Jagannath prasadam. The Supreme Lord Sri Hari is manifest in the three tirthas, Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur Dham, and Jagannath Puri Dham. In each tirtha he is worshipped in a different way. Or in each tirtha his mercy is available in a specific way. In Vrindavan, the mercy of Sri Hari is available for the Braja Dhuli, the dust of Vrindavan. So if you go to Vrindavan, if you are such a fortunate soul, you can roll in the dust of Vrindavan and in this way attain the shelter, attain the kripa of Sri Hari. If you go to Navadip Dham, Sri Mayapur, there you can attain the mercy of Sri Hari by performing Nam Sankirtan. And in Jagannath Puri, if you want to attain the shelter of Sri Hari and receive his mercy, then you honor the Jagannath Mahaprasada. This service is of all services, this is the most pleasing service you can do for Sri Hari in Jagannath Puri, to honor the Jagannath Mahaprasada. So in this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he offered Mahaprasadam. That would have been the first time that Sri Satchidananda had honored the Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath. And he received that from the hands of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Just see the Gaur Leela. Sri Gauda Modhu Leela Jar Karne Praveshila Redoi Nirmal Bhela Utar. Sri Gauda Modhu Leela, the sweet pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jar Karne Praveshila, those whose ears they enter into. Redoi Nirmal Bhela Utar. Redoi Nirmal, the heart becomes purified by hearing. these sweet pastimes. So Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he offered the Jagannath Mahaprasad to Sri Satchinandan and his dear associates. And then they sat and they began a discussion. He began, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the great learned scholar of the Vedanta and Nyaya Shastra, the Shikha Guru of the king of Puri, and the most respected scholar of Vedic knowledge in all of Puri. He began the discussion with Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He addressed him, Namo Narayanaya. I offer my obeisances unto you, Lord Narayan. Namo Narayanaya Bali Namaskar Koilo Krishna Matir Astu Bali Goshai Kohilo Krishna Matir Ashtu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he replied to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, may you become Krishna conscious. Krishna Matir Ashtu. May your mind become absorbed in Krishna. In this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he could understand that this sannyasi, although he was wearing the dress of a Vedantic monist, Ekadanda sannyasi, who had been initiated by Keshav Bharati, who was in the Shankara Sampradaya. Because the Vaishnava Sampradaya was not preaching Krishna consciousness. There were no Vaishnava sannyasis. Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas from the Mayavadi, Keshav Bharati Swami, Bharati Sampradaya. So Bhattacharya saying, he addressed him, Namo Narayanaya, thinking this is the nomenclature, the way that the Vedantists, Sankarites, sannyasis are addressed, as non-different from Narayan. And Mahaprabhu is establishing the Goswami Siddhanta, the conclusion of Krishna consciousness, Jiver Shvarupoi Nitya Krishna Das. The eternal position of the living entity is Krishna's eternal servant. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it came to teach this to the entire of humanity. And so he began his discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in a very significant way. Krishna Matirashtu, become Krishna conscious. And in this way, the discussion between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began. In this discussion, we will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu establishes the conclusions of Krishna consciousness. This is very significant in that this is a new phase of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and a new style of preaching. In Odia, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's preaching was very sweet and direct, simply by performing the Sankirtan. Udilo Oduna Purava Bhage, Dichamani Goda Amani Chaage, Udilo Oduna Purava Bhage. The sun would arise on the eastern horizon in the morning. Bhakata Shamoha Laya Shate Gelo Nagara Braje. Taking his devotees with him, he would go out to the towns and the villages. Tatai Tatai Bhajaloko, playing the mridanga. And chanting ringing the kartals, Premedala Shonara Anga, with his golden limbs quivering in love of Godhead. Chodane Nupura Bhaje, and around his ankles, the sweet ankle bells chiming, he would sing the holy name. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari. Bolena Bolode Bodana Bodi, and induce all of the people in the villages and the towns to chant the holy name of Hari. He was not participating in the philosophical discussions. In this way, the chanting and the spreading of the holy name continued in Nodia, Navadip Nodia. Radha Krishna Bolo Shonge Chalo E Mantro Bikachai E Shikani E Shob Nadia Fichin Neche Gornidai. Fichin Neche, dancing and wandering all throughout Nodia, inducing everyone, Radha Krishna Bol, Bolare Shabai, to chant the holy name. So this is the style of preaching in Navadip. And having taken sannyas, Mahaprabhu journeys to Jagannath Puri and immediately begins a new style, a new chapter of his epic pastimes. And he begins formally establishing Krishna consciousness on the basis of Shastric evidence and to establish the Bhakti Vedanta, that the conclusions of Vedanta are devotional service to Lord Krishna. And he begins this discussion with the most renowned, topmost scholar of Vedantic knowledge in all of India. So tomorrow evening we will carry on and discuss some of the points that Mahaprabhu makes in his discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Hare Krishna. Jagannath Shami ki Jai. Shamaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gauda Premanandi.
Hare Hare Bol. पूरा यूट्यूब का चल रहा है, लो क्वालिटी में कर रहे हैं ना।